if I still have some time to burn, we're going to go to fear. Anyway, to read. Have you ever heard of an old PC game called The Theater? Yeah, I didn't think so. Probably because many people say it doesn't even exist. You see, The Theater is an old computer game released around the same time as Doom. Today, if you ever find it, it's only available on crappy bootleg CD-ROMs, which, more often than not, don't even actually contain the game. The actual legitimate copies that they say were released back in the day feature a blank cover with nothing but the sprite of what has been since named the Ticket Taker. He is simply a poorly drawn, pixelated Caucasian, bald man with large red lips wearing a red vest over a white shirt and black pants. He's completely emotionless, though some say that if you smash the disc, his face is shown as angry the next time you look at the cover. But this is just dismissed as an urban myth. What is peculiar about the theater, though, is that there is no developer name on the jewel case, nor a game description on the back. It is simply the ticket taker on a white backdrop on both sides. The game was initially known for its inability to install correctly. The installation process immediately locks up the computer when the user reaches the licensing agreement. Also strange about the licensing agreement for the theater is that whenever the development studio is supposed to be named, the text is simply a blank line. Anyways, most people who have claimed to owning one of the original CDs say that they figure out how to install the game by simply rebooting their computer on the licensing agreement with the disc still inside. Then they are prompted to press I agree on startup. Then they continue with the installation. The game then starts up without any introduction besides a main menu that is simply the sprite of a movie theater's exterior on an empty city street. The title fades in and then the three menu buttons, New Game, Load, Options. Selecting Options immediately crashes the game to desktop. Load is said not to function at all, even if you do have a saved game. Nothing happens when you press it. Thus, New Game is the only working menu option. Once it is selected, you are in the first-person view. You are standing in an empty movie theater lobby, with the exception of the ticket taker standing in front of a dark hallway which one can only assume leads to the theaters themselves. There's nothing to do but look at the poorly drawn, mostly illegible movie posters, or approach the ticket taker. Once the player moves towards the ticket taker, a very low-quality sound clip plays, saying, "Thank you, please enjoy the movie," along with a speech box saying the same thing. You then walk into the hallway, and the screen fades to black, and you're back in the empty lobby, and you do the exact same thing again, and again, and again. While this may sound like a really horrible game, a number of peculiar things occur as you continue to play it. The number of times that you have to continue into the hall after giving your ticket to the ticket taker before the strange events happen is unknown. Most state that it's completely random and can take anywhere from the first playthrough to the 400th. What happens, though, has deeply disturbed some players. The first occurrence is when the player fades back in after walking into the hallway. This time they will notice the ticket taker is completely absent. The player then, without any other options, decides to walk into the dark hallway. The sound clip and text box mentioned previous still play in the absence of the ticket taker, but when the player walks into the hallways, the screen does not fade out. It goes pitch black as they walk deeper into the hall, but the player's footsteps sound clip is still playing as they continue to push the up button on their keyboard. Those claiming to have played the original game report to have felt extremely uncomfortable walking down the hallway, anticipating the whole way something horrible happening. Well, eventually the player is unable to move forward. There's nothing for a few moments before a strange sprite that is described as the ticket taker but with a swirl for a face appears and stands before the player. The original players of the game say that their bodies immediately froze up and their stomachs churned when they saw this sprite, which has been appropriately named the Swirly Headman. Nothing happens as the Swirly Headman stands before them. Then suddenly a piercing screech plays as the game glitches out. This lasts for a few minutes, with the screeching being continuous. Then the players abruptly return to the lobby, with all the sounds and graphics being as they should be. The game continues normally for the next couple of cycles of entering the hallway, with a couple of the original players claiming the Swirly Headman would briefly appear and disappear in the corner of the screen as a brisk yelp sound effect plays. Then, at some point after meeting the Swirly Headman, the player sees the ticket taker pacing back and forth. Though there is no walking animation, the sprite's limbs are completely static, so he just hops up and down slightly as a substitute, with his eyes being wide and his mouth open to simulate a worried facial expression. Some players noted that the movie posters had been replaced with images of the swirly head man, which caused them to immediately. This cat is yanking my headset off, and I'm going to throw her into the bathroom if she keeps it up. Sorry. Yeah, it's a creepypasta. I think it might be pre-SCP, but it's not that poorly written. I'm kind of enjoying the motif here. Then another, okay, different locale. Okay, wait. Back up. Okay. Some players noted that the movie posters had been replaced with images of swirly headman, which caused them immediately to turn their character's head away from the posters and approach the ticket taker. Then another different low-quality sound clip plays, but the speech box contains nothing but corrupted characters that cause whatever text that would have been in the box to be completely illegible. Due to the extremely low quality of the sound, it is debated by players what exactly the ticket taker says at this point, though it is widely agreed that he says never reach the other levels. Then the screen fades out once again and returns the player back to their starting point in the lobby, but the ticket taker is gone and the hallway is blocked by a large brick wall sprite. Touching the brick wall will immediately crash the game. And that's all there is to it. No one knows what the other levels are or how to gain access to them, nor is it known why the swirly head man causes such acute fear in those who've seen him in the game. All the original copies of the theater have either been lost or destroyed, but the creepiest part is the fact that all the original players of the game claim to occasionally see a brief glimpse of the swirly head man out of the corner of their eyes. Meh. What's up, best username? We are checking out The Theater, which is a game based on a creepypasta. Let me get rid of this screen region. And I'm going to have to dick around with the settings after I'm done, whenever that is, because it resets your desktop to 800, it's either 800 by 600 or 640 by 480, and doesn't set it back when you get out. So here goes nothing. Oh, I forgot to. Set the screen region up here. Here you go. Alright, here goes nothing. So options does in fact crash the game. Alright, I just wanted to see if they kept that accurate. Oh, and that'll reset your thing. Cool, so that's how you exit options. Leon, what are you doing? Creepypasta is like the SCP files before the SCP files were a thing. It's just creepy stories. Alright, so load doesn't work. So new game. The music's kind of ominous. Oh, it's just really dark. It's really dark. Hi. Wow, that is actually kind of creepy. Okay. I have to hit space to get the thing off. So you got like a clown. All the posters are like backwards. The clown's probably the creepiest part of this. Okay, so dark hallway. Oh, now we're back in the lobby. The sound clip's actually getting worse. The posters changed. Are they supposed to be the swirly head man posters, or are they just different posters? Looks like just different posters. Okay, so the posters change each time. This is kind of a little, it's weirding me out a little bit. The theater's changing a little too. And he's gone like they said he would be, which means I think it's time for the surprise. Alright, so eventually I was supposed to stop moving. Okay. Okay. Now it's supposed to scream at me. Eventually. Or crash. Hey, it crashed. Well, that was terrifying. Let's try that again. No, it's not supposed to crash. It's supposed to scream at you. And there's supposed to be like a brick wall or something. Well, I already got the altered thing, so... It's supposed to crash on install, but that's not a problem. It installed fine, but the info section was blank when I installed it. That's it? That's it? I could have sworn I saw somebody get the brick wall. That is really lame. Seriously? Whatever, man.